Hello, friends, and welcome to week 4 of SteakDora the Explorers Review REBBL 1 and 2A. I think that's what we've gone with. That's what we are now.
I mean, mostly out of sheer laziness. There's no real branding there.
That's accurate, yeah. It's just what I labeled it once, and now we're being labeled that forever because I don't want to come up with something better.
Seems about right.
Yeah, so week 4, which means we are going to be looking at teams. Well, do we want to just start, I guess, in our dumb faces?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. So, first of all, the Bad Apples versus Cheese Tactics Mark II is happening soon. It hasn't happened. Agrain was on vacation, so they weren't able to schedule last week.
It was out for work or something like that. It was not at a computer where they could play games.
Yeah, he was gone for a bit, so they weren't capable of playing until tonight. So the REBBL 1 has been extended to today for them to finish, so we don't actually know what the results of that are. We might know by the end. We can come back and check at the very end if it's relevant.
I'll tack it onto the points before I send everything over to you anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's worth noting that we did predict the dark. Both of us predicted the Dark Elves for that. Then we had Tessa and Arch Excel with High Elves and Chaos. We both predicted High Elves, so we were wrong.
Oh yeah, Arch Excel's team got fucking crushed.
20 armor breaks, resulting in
4 Cas, but 5 Cas sustained. That said, KOs. I've already looked. 2 of them are perms and 1 is an MNG. He didn't do great on the rolling of the.
Oh no!
There's a niggle on his best blitzer, a movement bust on his frenzy piece, and an MNG on his thrower. I think.
14 blocks taken by the Chaos and 30 taken by the Elves is not really a whole lot. I mean, it is an elf game, but that's not a whole lot, and that's probably because there weren't many elves for most of the game.
Yep. Did not go well. I mean, the Chaos only had to roll armor 10 times. And 4 of that was a fireball. Or 2 of that was a fireball, I should say. Yep, did not have to roll very many dice at all, it must be said.
That's how you want to see a bash team dice log. When you have almost single digits of every dice, you know you've done it well. That's a bash team.
Meanwhile, not an anime sports team, the average armor 8 team had their armor broken 61% of the time. So,
not great.
Might have had something to do. Not great, indeed. Dodge were great. Dodges, they only failed 3 dodges out of 28. GFI's less so, but they only made 7.
Yes.
KO Wicos are pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he just got removed.
Pretty much. Not much you can really do when you just lose players, I guess. But that's as the Bash or Chaos coach, that's exactly how you want that game to go, honestly. It makes it so much less stressful for you when there's just aren't as many elves. Because it turns out you can still lose to elves as long as there are a couple good elves on the field. So if you can get those critical removals or KOs or whatever, just getting those couple of important players gone, it makes your life so much easier.
Yep. And then in one we actually got right, which is the last time you're going to hear me say that for this division. Greenskin Brawlers versus Thick, Rich, and Creamy. We predicted the Orcs would win, and they did.
Nice.
With a total of 68 blocks made against the Necro.
That is a lot of blocks.
MVP going to a dead block zombie is pretty unfortunate. MVP going to Urgoth Smash Skulls is amazing. And spoilers, the Strength 5 block guard block Orc got dodge. And now it's a blodge. It's like a blodge Tomb Guardian, basically. A blodge agi up Tomb Guardian.
Yeah, I mean he's a blodge ogre, I don't know.
I guess ogres are movement 5.
Are they? Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, ogres are fast.
So. Yeah, they're speedy boys. So yeah, not a great game for Thick, Rich, and Creamy, though. It looks like, I mean, I can't tell just by the dice log, of course, but Thick, Rich, and Creamy's armor certainly held up at 71%. Regen was pretty good, 3 out of 5.
Yeah, but even with reasonable armor and reasonable regen, when you take 65 or whatever it was blocks, it's still a lot of armor breaks on average.
Yeah, the dark or the Orcs rather just beat the hell out of them because the Orcs have the power to beat the hell out of them.
Strength and guard, yeah. Orcs being Orcs.
A lot of strength. Not a lot the Necro can do about that if they don't get the removal train going, which they clearly didn't because,
No, they had to do a lot of sniping, I think, on players, and the way that I know that Professor Chaos plays is we get that wall of orcs And it's going to be pretty difficult to like snipe that like lone player with a werewolf and try to utilize that. So Professor Chaos probably even tightening up a little bit more on that progression forward, and that's why you see such a low scoring game, like just 1-0.
Yeah, not a dicing, just a punching from Jimmy Burrito, which is kind of how we expected that game to go, unless you've got some good removals.
Yeah, pretty much. And Greenskin Brawlers don't play in a way that make it easy to get removals for like a snipey removal team like Necro. Rowdy Rebel Rousers and Fogmire Fenbeasts is a tie.
Yeah, the Nurgle won it in spirit, but because they're Nurgle, they couldn't get the job done. It looks like the Orcs or the Lizards made more blocks actually, but
Frenzy
got a little out removed, not a lot out removed, but a little bit.
Yeah, 20 armor breaks. That's Claw. I mean,
so all of the Nurgles were Kaz's. How are their regen? 0 for 2, so not great.
That is not
their
great.
beast also really stupided 50% of the time.
I know that feel. Yeah, that's a pretty stupid beast. Foul appearance, being basically average, it seems like pretty close to anyway.
There were a lot of them, so that's not surprising.
No.
I mean, actually, that's a little low. You'd expect one more failure, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Looks like the Lizards just kind of their armor didn't hold up, but they did really well on injury rolls. They succeeded 17 out of 20, which is kind of insane, actually. Yeah, I mean, that's actually quite nuts. So the casualty dice were incredibly kind to the Lizards. There were a lot of stuns, but not a lot of removals. On the other hand, the Nurgle didn't quite get quite as lucky on that front, though they were GFIing like champs. So, something to be said there. Looks like it was a pretty even game. Nurgle couldn't get the removals they needed to really snowball, so they, were just able to tie it up, but
or the removals came later, so like once the Fogmire Fenbeast has already scored, and it turns out it's pretty hard to score twice as Nurgle in one half.
Yep, exactly.
Rage Dorf and Fear and Bloating.
I predicted the Nurgle, and you predicted the Dwarfs, and the Nurgle won. You did. You were like, I'm gonna back Unseen Walker because I believe in him, and also because we have no other contentious picks.
Oh.
And it did not go well for you. That said, though, the dwarves kind of out-removed the Nurgle, though maybe some of that might have been regen. No, yeah, two successful regen, so only 2 of those were actual removals, but technically speaking, the dwarves causing more Kaz's. They both sustained a death, a couple of KOs, exactly the same number of blocks. Looks like it was a pretty even game, but maybe the Nurgle were able to steal it and run away and score, which is not something that Nurgle normally do, so that's a thing. Furious Dwarf, the Troll Slayer, the Palm Troll Slayer, netting 11 SPP, which is kind of nuts. Foul appearance was average. Everything else looks pretty standard.
The 5 of those SPP are MVP, but still that's 6.
Yeah, so 3 Kaz,
which is pretty serious.
Or unless he scored on him, but I mean, it's possible.
He didn't score, so no.
Oh, right, he didn't score. There was a bomb. There was a
Boomer. Boomer? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because it would be pretty easy for Rage Dwarf to pick up a couple of idiots in terms of like Boomer or what's his face, the other dwarf that's really cheap and a secret weapon. The one with the gun that shoots, that is like a mass cannon. Yeah,
or whatever.
That one. Yeah. It's pretty easy for dwarves to pick up cheap like idiots to put in front of guard who are also, block thick-skulled dwarves.
Yeah, it looks like the Nurgle were in control most of the game. 81% ball possession, 56% in your opponent's half. I think that the Nurgle just stole it and then stalled until turn 8, scored, drove it up on their end, scored. They maybe weren't getting the removals they needed, but they had the just the better pitch team. And causing maybe some stuns and some rules when they needed it. So
well, that's disappointing because I'm already down in points. That just made it worse. I was like, cool, let's get a contentious pick in here somewhere, and then I was wrong, sadly.
Speaking of us being wrong, well, you being wrong, but also me.
Speaking of you being wrong, but me also being wrong. Oh, okay. So you mean both of us were wrong?
Yes. In the Welf versus Lizard off, we thought the Welfs would win, and they did not. Charlestown Chief bringing it home with 45 blocks against Wood Elves is a hell of a thing. 19 armor breaks. Not actually that many removals for 19 armor breaks.
6 KOs and 3 casualties. It's
is
pretty
like
serious.
a little below average considering Mighty Blow is in play. Unfortunate MVP there. I'm guessing, yeah, he did not buy that loner, so...
There were a lot of ones for Archangel's Will. A lot of ones and twos, but
What
twos
are we told us about looking at the dice log?
It's terrible.
It's a waste of time.
But pretty much.
Armor was a little bad, maybe, but there was Mighty Blow floating around, so not that bad. Just like potentially a little below average.
The Lizards attempted
Chaos.
9 pickups.
Jeez.
The ball is on the floor a lot, it seems.
Yeah, the Wood Elves had good agi dice. They failed. Yeah, I mean, like, they couldn't catch to save their goddamn life. They failed 4 out of 5 catches, which might have had something to do with them losing so hard. That's a turnover or 2, probably 2 at least.
Yeah.
Dodges were pretty okay, but again, like, you can have 82% successful dodges, and like 2 of those could be snakes, and that's like all you need to lose a game. Because
also, well, it's also there's only one. There's only 2 passes.
Perfectly average, even though there was a really small sample, which is kind of funny.
There's only 2 passes.
Yeah, I mean,
hello.
It looks like the Lizards didn't have too much trouble here. Their armor was garbage, but and the lightning bolt fizzled.
Are you
so
doing
we're
that
saying
thing
that
where
the
you
Wood
can't
Elves'
hear me
biggest
again?
advantage is that they had the wizard going into this matchup.
You certainly are doing that thing where you can't hear me again.
Are you not talking, or is this fucked? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I wasn't just talking to the wind, at least.
No. Well, let's. You still can't hear me. Okay, hang on. Is that better?
Yeah.
Just Discord being screwy. Okay.
Discord being Discord. So yeah, the failed lightning bolt is the failed lightning bolt and the super failed catches to me screams this was like a huge problem for Archangel, where he just like couldn't get the things he needed to work and like probably caused turnovers. Lizards are good at taking advantage of turnovers because they're fast enough to like catch up to the Wood Elves. Like, even if a pass worked and made it up to a player, it's hard to get players completely out of range of a bunch of skinks and Zors. So
I was gonna say that I was trying to say when you couldn't hear me. There were only 2 passes for the 5 catches, so some of that is catch rerolls, but like, so it could have been snakes. Or handoffs, but like handoffs could potentially be in tackle zones and stuff. So it's hard to say that like it was super unlikely that these types of rolls happen, but like failing 4 of your 5 catches,
they're not
kinds
5
of suck.
plus handoffs probably.
No,
like,
but they could have also been, with the number of times the ball was on the floor, they could have also been like those scatters out of somebody's hands after you blitz them and then like landing in somebody trying to catch it. And like,
true that everyone, it looks like it was a huge scramble, and in that scramble Archangel had to overcommit a lot and took a lot of blocks in the process. To me, that screams a couple of turns where he turned over unexpectedly on like a snake or something like that,
and then Lizards take advantage of it because that's what Lizards do.
And then, like, you're still based up because you were like waiting until the end of your turn to dodge everyone out, and then the Lizards punch you, and then they surround you, and then you can't get away. Like, that can snowball out of control really quickly with a bad snake. So,
and then Scooby and the gang versus me.
Yeah, we expected the Necro to win, but no, you pulled it out.
I did.
And on another dead rotter.
More than one. There were 3 dead rotters on the same turn. There's a good clip on my channel right now of him on his drive.
He removed the shit out of you.
Yes. There's a clip on my channel. If you haven't seen this, you should. He 3 for 3 LOS blocks, 3 for 3 knockdowns, 3 for 3 armor breaks, 3 for 3 injuries, 3 for 3 dead. It was just dead on my rotters. And I was like, oh, good.
And you won 2-1 somehow.
Well, there was like, I managed to, it was the end, the second half of that game was ridiculous. It was such a weird game. I managed to get the ball, and then there was like a pass that probably shouldn't have worked kind of thing. And then like the second, it was pretty likely to be a tie, but I got a little bit lucky, certainly, to make it like turn it into the win, I think, is probably what happened.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a weird game.
Crush him on armor dice. That's really. I mean, you both had garbage armor, but yours was slightly better at least.
It was a weird game.
Like every time a block succeeded, that person had their armor broken.
Pretty much, it was a really weird game.
You made 11 successful GFIs.
Yep. Like 4 of those were on my trying to make it 2-1 kind of attempt. Like 4 to 6 of them were on the like that.
It is worth noting he got 11 armor breaks into 8 removals. So that sucked for you.
It did, yes.
Your regen was garbage.
Yes.
Your foul appearance was really good.
No, my regen was good. I made 2.
Oh, sorry, his regen was garbage.
Yes, his regen was bad. I removed one of his good players and it failed regen, which was like, it was super helpful. I don't remember which one. I think it was the white. I don't remember though. This was a while ago.
Your Kaz didn't stick on important pieces, and his did. It looks like if you were hitting. Well, some of those were probably zombies, but
3 of the deaths on my team were rotters that were just dead in one block.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, and the other 2 regen. So it was literally just those 3 dead rotters, which is a big deal. I mean, that's a huge amount of player presence lost. But
yeah,
still.
and it was. I'm going up against Tessa next week, and now I finished that game with 0 rotters. So
nice.
It's kind of I'm gonna need. I had money saved up to try to replace that double niggled Chaos Warrior, but I can't afford to do that now. I had to buy a couple rotters so that I actually have people to like put on the LOS against Chaos, right?
That's fair.
So I finally got my money after 4 games, and then had to buy rotters, which sucked.
My camera just disappeared from your screen.
Why would it do that?
I don't know. I happened to be looking at it as my face like blipped out of existence.
Huh. There, that's better. Why do I keep buying rotters? The rotter died, yes. That is a thing that happened.
So that was Div 1. Let's look at the leaderboard. So it's worth noting that A-Grain and Cheese have not played yet. Nope. Cheese is down here in 12th. And
it is also worth noting
is in the middle at 7.
That Atomics is currently the only undefeated player, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams tied at 4 points with 2 wins and 1 draw.
Though if A-Grain wins this game, he will be top of the table suddenly.
Because he will be 3-0-1 instead of
which is 1 point above 2-2.
But if he draws it, there will then be
a billion-way tie for second.
Yes,
a 6-way
tie for second place.
Is it 5? At 6, yeah.
Yeah, which is hilarious. But that shows you how tight the competition in Div 1 is. Nobody running away with anything quite yet. Atomics is up there, certainly ahead by one point with that extra draw, but everything is really close here. The only winless teams right now are Rage Dorf and Fugmire Fen Beasts, but they both had a bit of a rough start to the season, certainly, so hard to blame them for that one. Shall we look at teams and how they fare?
Yes. Let's look at Cheese, who is about to go into a game. 2190 Orcs. I mean, they're much the same as the last time we looked at them, so we won't dwell too long on it. I think the Black Orc with Guard is new, and the Black Orc with Block are new. He's managing to develop these at least a little bit. He's still got the other 2 Black Orcs that are much more developed, but of course also very niggled. Baby Swiss still exists for reasons. That Thick Skull Troll still exists for reasons.
Triggered 3 times on my game versus Cheese.
I don't care. Canadian Cheddar, another niggle, still alive.
There's 2 double niggled players on this team, I think, right?
Yeah, Gruyere is still alive and misspelled. Just a horrible abomination.
How many niggles are on this team? Okay, 1, 2,
Many.
3. I'm counting them. That's 3.
Swiss double niggled?
Yep. 4, 5 niggles. And 1 more to check. That is 6 niggles. There are 6 niggles on this orc team. Which is quite a thing. On average, half of your players have a niggle. I know that's not how it works because several of them have 2, but that's so funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is still a pretty good-looking orc team. It's got a lot of kill. It's got a ton of kill, actually. It's got a good amount of guard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not bad. A little low for the TV value, but it's got a lot of strength because of the troll.
Yeah,
so
the troll adds a bit. And Baby Swiss is a 160. I mean, the troll and the goblin are 330k.
Yeah, but he can 1 turn now.
That's true. Yeah, it's fine for now, and it certainly has a chance to win pretty much any game that it runs up against or goes up against. But like one of these days, this team is just gonna die.
Yeah.
And that's the nature of things when you have that many niggles lying around. Bash matchups are probably a little bit harder than they should be otherwise because they're going to target the niggles and get removals more easily, which will help them win. Yeah, so that certainly helps. It's less about like, oh no, my players are going to die, and more like, well, instead of being stunned, they're more likely to be knocked out because of that +1 and that kind of stuff. so the bash teams can remove like your guard and your strength and stuff, which can make it a bit of an issue. But
Yep.
yeah.
Then we have not an anime sports team, ArcticXL. Kind of battered.
Yep.
Still not Megalobox, niggled. Absolutely not Air Gear, MNG'd. Still not Eye Shield 21. Movement busted. Movement busted on a Movement 8 Frenzy piece is kind of sad. So had a rough game. Did get a level on girls. Still not girls in Panzer.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a great start. Not a lot of new development, I don't think. That Dauntless might be new from still not Hinomaru Sumo.
I think it is.
That said, I saw that it failed both of its Dauntless checks last game, so clearly a bad choice,
Well, going into his next game with 7 players and like 3 of his best players being out for that game means this next week is going to be
he's probably going to win. I'm going to vote against him and he's going to win because that's how ArcticXL works.
I mean, he still does have initiate Aussianus, which is the movement
I think
guard.
it's Aussianus, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still a plus movement player with like Blodge Step, which is kind of annoying to deal with, but it's going to be him and a bunch of linemen basically, along with the 2 catchers. The 2 catchers are still pretty good. Depends on what his next game is, but it could be a rough one. Thick, Rich, and Creamy from Jimmerthy Burrito. Let's see.
Despite the punching they took, not looking too bad. Still has both whites, both ghoul or flesh golems. Obviously, both the wolves are still kicking around. I don't think there's a ton of new stuff here. Melty Monterey Jack is approaching his next level. He'd probably get something like tackle, I would say, for the unfortunate white. A 3rd tackle would not be bad on this team, certainly.
No, not at all. Especially since he's going to be a piece that's hard to shift with Blodge Firm. Like tackle to prevent people from dodging away is also a good option there.
Moldy Blue Sidestep might be new, it's kind of cool. He's movement 8, Blodge, Fend, Sidestep. It's incredibly annoying to deal with if you don't knock him down initially, because
pretty much all
frenzy,
you would.
Sidestep means that it's if you don't hit him, if you don't POW this player on the first hit, you're going to be sad because it's going to be somewhere much more annoying, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much all of the ball carrier skills, right? Sure hands, block, and then any stats you can get a hold of, and if you can't get stats, sidestep, fend, kickoff return potentially, but that's not really as important when you have movement 8. So you're just kind of praying for a stat as your last level on him, I think. Like any stat other than armor is good. But if you get armor, you just take movement. So
yep, that's where Rox, my old skink, is at too. He's 2 SPP away from Legend. Possibly the first REBBL Legend skink in a very long time. Possibly ever. I don't actually know if there was ever another Legend skink.
I think there was.
Anyway, this is a good team. It's really lacking in guard, which hurts its bash matchups. I guess it's got 4. It's not bad.
The 2 guards always make up for a little bit, but yeah, we really want to get it on Provolone.
And it's all very like low movement guard, because even Melty Monterey Jack is agi busted and movement busted, where otherwise he would be pretty mobile at movement 6, agi 3, Blodge. He's now a lot more of a kind of slow moving liability. So
we're one more.
The agi game of this is really fast, but
1 touchdown on that white, and you can take guard on him. He's 3 of 6 as the rookie white.
Yeah, and you probably
take guard. Although
probably guard, yeah. Guard
you have enough mighty blow on the wolves. I mean,
anyway,
you never have enough mighty blow, but you have like your blitzer players in the wolves, so he doesn't need to be a blitzer. You can be a guard piece.
Still looking pretty healthy. Got a nice bench. Got a good complement of zombies with a kick zombie and a dirty player zombie. I mean, it's a good-looking Necro team.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you can really be sad about is the rookie ghoul and the rookie flesh golem, right? If that flesh golem was block guard and that white was like guard tackle, this would be like amazing.
Yep, but I mean, it's not too hard to level count market the unfair when you are working on stuff. So hopefully he does that in the future. Rolling Red, the recently trimmed lizard team.
That's one way of putting it.
Did not get SPP on Jukebox Hero yet, so nothing new there. I think everything else is the same.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did Jukebox Hero play last game, or is he brand
new?
He did.
No, he played 1 game.
Okay, and we can get another Saurus if we want to. We have 80k.
We do, yeah.
I think you do want to pick him up.
You always want more Saurus.
It puts you at 0.
Unless buying it made it so that you didn't get Slibly or something like that. Like you would take Slibly, I think, over a Rookie Saurus, unless you weren't worried about taking damage. because I think a lot of people will be like, okay, we'll get the rookie source because you can start developing him. But if you're going into a claw matchup, it doesn't make sense to commit money to a player you have to keep around and who's just a liability at that stage. So depending on what Rolling Red's matchup is, he might want to hold off. And
if it's a claw matchup, well, I mean, you still gain. Oh right, no, never mind. Duh, skinks are 60, not 80. I'm an idiot. Yes, you are correct. But I mean,
we have to be a really narrow margin, and at that point, you probably just take whatever.
But if you're against claw, it might make sense to hold off for one match so that you're not just like, because you're gonna put a loner source, on the line or whatever. But if you bought one, you'd put him on the line, but he's one you just spent money for, and against claw, that's a little scary. Red Joker, Fear and Bloating. Nurgle.
They are Nurgle.
Yaza the Great exists. He's got all the skills that you want, but no crazy doubles or anything yet. What do we have? Do we have anything that's potentially new? Yes, the 2 heads on the Pestigore is probably new.
The 2 heads on the Pestigore is definitely new. So that is it's a vampire that dodges on Agi 5. It's not bad. Wrestle tackle. So and hits on strength 5. So that's a credible cage diving threat right there.
At Agi 5 strength 5 is pretty terrifying on a blitz. It's super annoying.
Incredibly difficult to protect from.
You have
Gores. If you ever do anything, even like a traditional cage is only a 4+, or is that a 3+?
It's three tackle zones, so -3, whatever your normal dodge would be.
So it's -2. So yeah, it's a 4+.
Yes, because it's normally a 3+.
Because it's a 2+ for Agi. It's a 2+ for Agi 4 to dodge away, -3. So it's a 5+ for Agi 4 to dodge into a cage. So it's a 4+ for Agi.
Yeah, that's a 75% chance to get a 2-die on the ball. Like
if you're willing to reroll,
if you're willing to use a reroll, which is pretty terrifying.
And the only way it's a 1-die is if you have guard on both corners. So
if you have guard on both corners, it's a 1-die. And if you're like going up against lizards or something, where they're carrying on a skink, then it doesn't matter if they have guard on the corners.
Yep. Pretty good looking team. Lots of guard. 5 guard. I mean, we just said 5 guard is not a lot on Necro, or I think they had 4. But Nurgle have all sorts of other skills to make them incredibly annoying to block. So 5 guard for Nurgle is quite good.
I mean, 5 guard is basically the most you'll ever get at any one time, because 4 warriors and the beast. But he's just got it on 3 warriors, the beast, and a Pestigore.
Yeah, support Pestigore and Gurfagore. I like support Pestigores.
But it's like the most guard any normal Nurgle team will get, like quote normal, like meta or whatever, 6, is 5, 6 if you build the support Pestigore. So 5 is pretty good. And he's one SPP away from leveling. So he's the Mighty Blow Guard block tackle one. He's 1 SPP from leveling. Do you take Claw?
Yeah, I would probably take Claw at that point. You've got tackle, you got Mighty Blow. You could take something like Stand Firm, but you don't actually have any Stand Firm. I'd consider it. Maybe, I don't know. You've got.
He doesn't have
a Mighty Blow.
You do, but you don't have a Claw Palm like Pestigore, which is kind of an important Nurgle piece.
Brash Gores is definitely.
Yeah, you build him that way, and with guard as a skill.
You could give Gurfagore Claw in the meantime, but that just means you're going to want to blitz with Gurfagore a lot.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of the problem. You're always going to want to. You're never going to blitz with Brash Gores, but of course, like, why would you? So you just have to score on Brash Gore.
Yeah, and as soon as and the other thing is that Gurfagore has guard, so he's not like the stereotypical killer Pestigore has his whole roadmap already planned out for him, because you need block, tackle, Mighty Blow, piling on, claw, and then like Juggernaut or probably Juggernaut. So guard means you're not getting that last skill, and you probably don't want to be piling on with your guard piece anyway. So claw is useful, but your legend is definitely not going to be piling on. Like, you could go Claw Stand Firm and just have him as a support piece that can hit back in a terrifying way.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Claw Stand Firm is much more likely to get to Stand Firm than Stand Firm Claw. Correct. Obviously, because though Stand Firm is more useful in the short term than another Claw piece is here, because he has 4, which means he can do 3 LOS hits and then a blitz without all with claw pieces. So
and it does give you, if you take that, it does give you sort of, you have a secondary safety / blitzing threat. Like, cool, we put Gishmalgors on one side and Gurfagor on the other. It's like, which side of the field do you want to run down? The one with the vampire wrestle tackle or the one with claw mighty blow? Like, pick your poison. Like, one of these is going to hit you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I like claw and then probably stand firm, but he's not going to be like your dedicated blitzer. You want to try to level Brash Course for that.
Yeah. Very
okay.
solid team.
Steer.
You talk about Charlestown Chief. I'll be right back.
Sure. We got some lizards. What do we have that's new? Well, Jake Hansen he's not new. He's actually played 3 matches, but he just hasn't managed to level yet or get any SPP, which is kind of unfortunate. The dodge on Yvonne Lebrun might be newish. But he's now, I don't remember if we saw that last time or not, but it is close enough that it could be new. And he is which give him a blodge guard piece, which is kind of annoying. He'll want to grab stand firm, but that's not till legend. Reggie Dunlop is now a Bloxigor, which is kind of cool. I like that. Bloxigors are incredible. Block makes them so much harder to shift. Prehensile tail, movement 6. Bloxigor are one of the best big guys in the game, certainly up there with like Beasts of Nurgle and that sort of thing. Skinks, we have I think this is probably a new one, Sidestep on Billy Charlebois, which is a pretty standard skink level, nothing exciting there. Dave is getting very close to legend, which is certainly interesting. The fact that he's movement busted is really annoying because he's a lot less likely to be that one turning threat now at movement 7, even though he has sprint sure feet. I don't know. Maybe you could take diving tackle maybe and just make him an annoying defensive piece now, because Dennis Lemieux, having picked up movement, is much more your one turning threat here. So in a couple SVP, you could probably grab like diving tackle or something would be interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He does have all his Saurus. Anybody else close to leveling? Johnny Upton is close. Break tackle, block mighty blow. You could consider tackle. I was going to say you could go tackle, but you already do have a break tackle, mighty blow block tackle Saurus up here. The break tackle just makes them so much more mobile, which is kind of nice. Another guard is probably good. Tackle is probably good because he already has break tackle. Could also just go stand firm because you only really have one so far. And having 2 stand firm Saurus, certainly better than having 1. But like stand firm, guard, or tackle are all good options there, and you already have some of those throughout most of the rest of the team, so it's kind of difficult to pick one.
I like stand firm, yeah.
And then or
guard, to be honest. I'd probably actually go guard.
Well, that's what I said first,
Oh, okay, yeah. Guard over stand firm.
My options were guard, tackle, and stand firm, and the tackle is only because he already has break tackle, but there's a break tackle guy up at the top, so you don't really need it. And stand firm and guard are the other 2 good options, I think. And then we have me. With 2 brand new rotters.
What'd you name them?
Unseen Walker.
Unseen Walker, I win games.
Yes, because Unseen Walker was in my chat and cheering me on when stuff was happening. And Lightning Dorf died, so I felt bad about Lightning Dorf, Unseen Walker's Pokemon, being dead. So I named one after him. And then I said, all right, I'm buying a new rotter. The first person to say something in chat is going to can name my rotter. And Unseen Walker said I win games because the rotters are pretty important in that one. So yeah, I had to spend most of my money on buying 2 new rotters so that now I have 3.
You're gonna have to put Killer Kowalski on the line.
Yeah, he was MNG'd for the last game, so he got badly hurt or something. I don't remember what happened to him, but I didn't have him for most of the game. But yeah, he's gonna have to go on the line. I could buy another one, but then I had literally $0, which I'm not very keen on going into a game against Chaos. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I think, and I could buy a rotter to be ablative, or I could have a little bit of money to replace somebody who dies. Who knows? But yeah, about it. Nothing much has changed on my team. Oh no, I lied. Hepatitis Beedrill II is following in the footsteps of Hepatitis Beedrill I, having picked up dodge.
Nice.
No.
So you got a Blodge Nurgle Warrior. That's pretty exciting.
It's terrible. It would have been way better for me to take guard if I wanted to win games. But, 1, for the memes, because it's Hepatitis Beedrill II. He has to follow in the footsteps of Hepatitis Beedrill I. It's required. Duh. And like, I don't know, chat was screaming for it, of course, because chat does chat things. But if I was smart, that should be guard. I'm not a smart man. And that's the only thing that's changed so far, is that dodge and having bought new routers. So Travel Scrabble, which I would like to point out. Have you noticed something about his team?
Travel Scrabble?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it yet. Oh, he ordered it? That's funny.
He ordered it specifically for me as a special treat because we were playing this week. It's what he said. In our chat when we were scheduling the game, he's like, I'll even put my team in order for you as a special treat since we're playing this week. But then after we play, I'm putting it back to how it was.
He hasn't done it yet. Shit, he doesn't. Don't tell him.
No, I think he's letting me revel in it for this week, like the game that we played and then the review, and then next week he'll bring it back to out of order. But he put it in order just for me for this week.
Well, there's a few new things. Wesley Pipes has recently picked up Mighty Blow. Minor 49er is close to a next level, which I assume will be guard. You could get Pylon. This team doesn't have a lot of stats, so it doesn't need guard as much. That said, he's already got a Claw Mighty Blow Wolf that's going to be do the blitzing most of the time. It might not be terrible to have an elf killer because he doesn't actually have a Mighty Blow tackle piece right now.
The white is.
Oh yeah, Top Cat. I missed Top Cat somehow.
And Minor 49er is also Mighty Blow tackle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but he doesn't have any Mighty Blow piling on or
yeah.
EV7, which it's not necessary, especially not for Necro, but might not be terrible. I honestly think it's up to preference whether that's guard or piling on. I think I would go guard because he's only got 3, and that's a big weakness of this team. That said, all the strength ups make up for that a lot. I
would like to point out that Agi5 werewolf was a terrifying nightmare for me. He was so annoying, very difficult to deal with. Along with Top Cat as well, strength 4 Agi4. It was super annoying. Yeah, you have a lot of strength, so you could probably consider piling on, just to have that like super elf rat AV7 type removal threat, which would be interesting. But not necessary. You can also, yeah, like you said, go guard, I think. 2 dirty players, 1 armor busted zombie. Meh, he's dead. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the team is like, there's still so much good about this team. So much good about this team. It's gonna. I'm glad I've already played it.
Yeah, and did so well. And then there's Archangel's Will. Adrastia's out. Adrastia is just MNG'd. That's good.
So this is a 5-player elf team for the next game.
I like that he has Dead Wish. I'm not sure if that's a translation issue or just Archangel being silly.
He did pick. Yeah, he bought a new War Dancer.
He is not in chat to confirm either way. But
is that new for this? No, he's played 1 match. He just didn't get any SPP on him.
Yep. So nothing much new here, I don't think. Tackle might be new on Adrastia. I'm not actually sure. And Blodge might be new on this random catcher, but there's really not any team to talk about, so let's move on.
There are 5 players. So there are 5 players. I still don't want to play this team. I already have, but
you suck at playing Welfs. Unless you're playing Undead, in which case you seem to win most of those. Had to get a new runner because his super runner finally died, so one of the actually good players on Unseen Walker's team is dead.
The Hail Mary pass Dorf runner is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've picked up, so we have Hellsdorf now, and to go along with Swift Dorf. So he is rebuilding. I mean, we're not at a full team quite yet. We're still missing a Troll Slayer, but we have both Blitzers. We have 2 runners, so we're still missing a second Troll Slayer, but that'll probably be his next pickup. He's got he would probably like a bit more of a bench of Longbeards than he currently has. No level on the runner, but he'll be a ball carrying runner, considering Swift Dorf is a sacker. Yeah, and nothing else new. Might be guard on that blitzer that could be new, but that's pretty expected for dwarves. Guard spam is good, it turns out.
Yeah, this would be a great Div 4 team.
It would be. It'd be an amazing Div 4 team. Might have a bit of a hard time in Div 1s.
Atomics has taken some damage. Luminous taking an AV bust, which sucks because that's your strength up tentacles guy. He's going to get punched sometimes. Does have a level on Bird, the Vampire Pestigore, who could also take 2 heads to just exactly mirror the other one.
I think you should.
I honestly, if it's a double, you take Leap, I think.
Probably.
And if it's normal, yeah, I mean, 2 heads is probably the best pick. Strip Ball is okay, but when you're strength 5 on the Blitz, I don't think Strip is really, like, double pushes don't happen that often. Like, you take the ball down 75% of the time.
Yeah.
Moving that from 75 to, nearly 100%. What's the odds of a snake? 1 in 36, so it's like 93% or something like that. Is like a big increase, but only if they don't have sure hands. So, honestly, I think I'd probably go 2 heads or Leap. If he gets a double, Leap would be amazing, of course. But
or if he had a stat, add G5, strength 5.
Yeah, Jesus,
would be pretty silly.
Those would be filthy, of course.
Lord
Farquaad,
I don't think you take movement.
I would absolutely take movement. Yeah,
I don't know.
Movement up on a Pestigore, especially a sacking Pestigore, is
I guess it
like
depends.
you can already cut corners on a 2+. Sure, you can't cage dive as actively, but you don't really need to cage dive.
I mean, if you rolled doubles though, right? Like if you got
if you got double 5s, I would take Leap over movement.
Yeah, I think I would too. If it was a 6/4, yeah, movement. But if it was, I would take the doubles over.
Sorry, I misunderstood the question. So yeah, solid looking team. The 2 AV busts are unfortunate, and the rookie Nurgle Warrior is, of course, a big eyesore to have in Div 1. He's played 3 matches and gotten 0 SPP, because that's how Nurgle Warriors work later on.
I know that field, bro.
Has another Blodge guy. I think you're going to make Barry Sanders a Blodge guard piece, probably. I would probably take them in that direction. You've already got a Blodge ball carrier.
And you already have a sacker, so yeah.
Yeah, so probably Blodge. Is he missing a Pestigore? He is, isn't he? 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So he could get a 4th one and start building that as well, but he kind of needs to save up in case some more shit goes wrong, because right now he's only got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players for his next match. So no bench. Things are going to be looking a little rough if he's going into a kill team. So
yeah,
something to keep in mind.
Green pick up the Rudder soon. Or pick up
like we said, the Blodge guard strength 5 Black Orc is filthy. He's got a bunch of Black Orcs pretty close to level. Smash Throat is nearing Stand Firm, unless he also rolls Blodge, and he just ends up with a full complement of Blodge Black Orcs.
Oh my god, I want nothing more than Blodge.
I was
guard
so
Black
close.
Orcs.
I had 3 out of 4 Blodge Chaos Warriors, and then one just fucking died like an asshole. I was so pissed. I was like, the first game I had 3 Blodge, and it was against Chorfs, so the Blodge was useless. And then, like, while crushing the Chorfs pretty badly, but like I just couldn't fucking remove his star killer. His killer just like broke away and killed my fucking Chaos Warrior. So whatever.
You mad, bro?
I am not actually.
Master Salt Maker.
I'm good. Morknast, still filthy. I mean, this team is also just great because it has no injuries. It's perfectly clean. Like, no red at all. I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is an amazing Orc team.
He's got a great killer in Sorak. He's got Morknast, who's kind of an all-purpose piece. He's a support piece. He's a credible sacking threat. He is a roadblock. He's got a great actual roadblock in Mordar. The Blodge guard stand firm. 7 guard actually is an incredibly difficult amount of guard to deal with for any bash team, really. And then the thrower is the least exciting thing on this team, other than the 3 linos. But still gets the job done as Blodge. So.
Yeah, it's 4 good Black Orcs, a killer blitzer, 3 other blitzers, a thrower, and then 3 idiot line orcs for the LOS. Like, it's a perfect orc team.
Yep, it's got all the stats you want in like the perfect places. It's ideal, really. Tessa. And then you have Tessa's, who does not, much like my Chaos team, has gotten basically no lucky level ups. I mean, the Blodge on Chaos Warriors is nice, but not really essential, and the block on his Mino is great, but no stats to be seen. Chaos don't really need stats, so it's not the end of the world, but you would like to have some, certainly. Chaos Warriors are looking good, other than the AV busts. He's got all 4 guard. 2 of them are Claw Mighty Blow. 1 of them is Mighty Blow. He's got a Blodge guard stand firm piece, which is amazing. I have one of those too, which is they're very nice pieces to have because they're just incredibly difficult to deal with, and they're pretty mobile at Agi 3 because they can reposition
I had a
on 1
Blodge
and
guard
9.
stand from Nurgle Warrior, and then he got KO'd the first block he took every single game. Like, it would just be like double POW KO'd. Oh, good. For like 6 weeks in a row. And then eventually he died on one of those. And now there's a new one who's going to follow in his footsteps.
I don't know what is new here. Might be a couple of things. Doesn't look like too much. Maybe stand firm on Debro.
Tackle and the Pizza Gore, maybe? No, that can't be that new.
No. 76, so yeah, not that new.
The only thing that's close to leveling, really, is Boar.
Extra arms on Lavoisier is probably new. Boar
is close to leveling.
Is pulling up on a new level. I guess you take strip if you don't get anything exciting. You've already got 2 heads, so you're dodging on Agi 4.
Yeah, pray for stats.
Yeah, I mean, a very fair Chaos team. Yeah, pray for stats is exactly where you're at there. Even a double, you probably wouldn't take leap because it's a 4+ leap. No. But, I mean, maybe you consider it. I don't know. He's already taken dodge, so he's probably going for more the cage dive at that point. Like,
if you could also consider diving tackle, potentially.
You could
if you got doubles instead of leap,
maybe. Yeah,
but I think you'd probably just take strip, like, unless you got stats.
Yep. So I mean, really solid team. It's got a good amount of guard and 5. It's decent for chaos. He's lacking a support beast, but I think he had one that died. So
and Agrain
rebuilding a lot of beasts, but that'll be work.
Currently playing, so this may change very quickly. But
21. Or 2,000 TV Dark Elves.
After one season? Like,
Cheese has a good amount of tackles and a good amount of mighty blows. So this could totally be a rough game for Agrain, but we believe in him. He does get a wizard.
That's so much dodge.
Yep. He's got a Blodge Step, Tackle, dodge. Dauntless, Witch Elf, who is Niggled. That's going to be a target. Granny Smith, the Raj Witch Elf. What else is new here? It looks like the Tackle and the Sure Hands on Fiji and Golden Delicious might be new because that's 36 SPP.
Wrestle on Granny Smith, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's pretty typical. I see a lot of Dark Elf players go 1 block Witch Elf, 1 Wrestle Witch Elf.
Cortland has picked up dodge first, so now all of his players, barring 1, have dodge.
He can field 11 dodge players. 11 dodge players.
Even though Cheese, I mean, he can field 11 exactly. Yeah.
You're not fielding a blitzer then, and that's tackle. Dumb. But you could field 11 if you really wanted to.
You're probably gonna field your mighty blow Agi 5.
Maybe, but everybody else, like everybody has done. So like everything you do is now like a 1 in 36 to just move them around. It's
annoying. An infuriating team to play against.
Infuriating.
And that is Div 1. So let's do some predictions.
Yeah. Okay. So Rage Dorf versus the Bad Apples.
Dwarves versus that is Dark a lot Elves. Of tackle. That's a lot of wasted TV for the Dark Elves. I still think the Dark Elves probably.
I believe in Unseen Walker.
All right.
I gotta make up some ground somehow, I think. Rowdy Rebel Rousers versus Archangel's Will. So this is going to be, that's Atomix' team, who hasn't lost yet, actually, but he is missing he's missing his strength tentacles, Nurgle Warrior, which is actually going to be really annoying. Yeah. He'll have 3 tackle otherwise,
but Archangel is missing his star War Dancer too, so he's only got 1 of his 3 actual players. And the tree is utterly worthless against Nurgle. I mean, it's not utterly worthless, I should say, but it's of diminished utility.
That strength 4, Agi 4, wrestle tackle, Pestigore at the pending level is probably going to be able to do things against Archangel's team, I think.
Yeah, I don't normally vote for Nurgle in this matchup, especially against Archangel, who's very good against Nurgle, but I think I'm going to go with it.
I think you kind of have to. I mean, missing that War Dancer, he still has a rookie War Dancer, and rookie War Dancers are probably the best rookie in the game.
He's going to get literally 1 billion inducements. He's 1090. I'm just going to go to Rebel on that because I don't feel like doing the math for once.
But yeah, I mean, Atomics hasn't lost yet this div. He's got some good, or this season, got some good momentum going. The good War Dancer being out.
So he's got 1510 TV for the next match. Is that right? So it's 6 times 70K?
70.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Atomics is 1700.
But Atomics also is missing some pieces, isn't he?
He's only 40k, so he's 1740.
Okay, so it's actually not that much. It's less than I thought, but he is going to have a wizard. So I still think it's going to be the Nurgle, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Archangel pull that one out.
No, I think it's pretty 50-50, honestly. But my gut says Nurgle, despite Archangel always winning against Nurgle. But I just think with so few players, this one is going to be rough.
All right, Scooby and the gang versus my dark horse, Professor Chaos. What do you think?
That is a good question. So Professor Chaos certainly has a really good team. You know who else has a really good team? Travel Scrabble.
Yep.
The Agi 5 Wolf, I think, is just so much for the Orcs to deal with. The Orcs can, line up and do their Orc lineup thing. We did just see the Orcs beat another Necro team, but it was a close game, and this is probably a scarier Necro team, so I think I want to go with Travel Scrabble.
I'm back in the Orcs.
Alrighty.
I got it. Conspirational Entropique wins versus you.
Yeah, probably. I also don't pick me.
Cheese versus lizards. Orcs do fairly well against lizards, usually. Charlestown Chiefs are gonna have 1820 versus Cheese's many, so they will get Slibly.
So that's a Bloxagor and 7 Saurus against those Orcs.
Yeah. That's what's happening there.
And then with the 6 Niggles, I mean, I feel like it's going to be. I think I want to give this to the Lizards, honestly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cheese, but I think just with Slibly, it makes too much of a difference. 7 Strength 4 and the Bloxagor, like that's 8 players. That
I think it might be Slibly and a Wizard actually.
Gee, how much does Cheese have? Cheese is 2190.
So 2190 versus 1820. It is. Well, you have to scum 30k for the wizard, but
probably worth.
400k is the magic number for lizards because it means all of the inducements you want. And lizards have some of the best inducements in the game. Probably like lizards and wood elves have
Skaven
the most solid. Skaven have really good ones as well. Those are probably like the top tier.
Yeah, I think so. Skaven, wood elves are good.
I think I'm going to go with the lizards on this.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I think once again it's pretty close, but I think the Niggles are gonna come into it. Like I think we're gonna lose players that
there's a good amount of money blow. Yeah, I mean like the Orcs should go down players more than the Lizards should. The Lizards have a lot of AB10 or AB9 rather, and they only have 1 Niggle compared to the many on the Orcs. So, that block is probably new. I assume you talked about it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Not an anime sports team, so Arch Excel and Fear and Bloating, so Red Joker. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of inducements for Arch Excel. 1, 2, 3, 4,
probably gonna win this just
5, 6, 7, 8. So he's gonna get what 370k loners. So that's another
Arch Excel.
Yeah.
Arch Excel is gonna have 1400.
Oh, 11, four loners. Yeah. So
1400 versus who's he playing? Fear and Bloating. So 1400. He's gonna get 680k. I don't even know what you get with 680k.
Well, you get a wizard.
You get a wizard, and then one of the crazy high elf star players.
There's like what's his face,
the prince guy.
Yeah. Well, there's you can get Eldril, of course, who's incredible. There's Soren Hightower, who's like the stupid thrower. And there's Prince Moranian, who is the strength 4 like block dauntless tackle wrestle guy, who's probably not really that useful, honestly, for 230. But you can get Soren Hightower, who is the like pass, safe throw, sure hand, strong arm, kick off, return, fend elf.
It's really funny. I mean, you might just do that because you don't have a thrower right now.
Yeah.
Not that you need one versus Nurgle necessarily, but
then you can also get Eldril, catch, pass, block,
Eldril's probably
Nerves of Steel, like Eldril and Soren, and just huck it to him and then score.
Eldril, I mean, Hypnotic Gaze being the more important skill there, but
he's also catching Nerves of Steel.
he is. But Eldril and a Wizard is the filthiest combo, and he then has like a bunch of other money to do whatever he wants with. It's closer than it probably should be.
Yeah, I think so too.
But there is Gishmogor's the crazy sacker. I think I still give it to the Nurgle, but man, it's like real close. And I know that ArchXL is going to win just to spite me, and that's fine. I accept my fate.
I just think the inducements are going to be really annoying for the Nurgle to deal with, so I'll go with ArchXL.
Sweet, lots of contentious picks. I like it.
Thick, Rich, and Creamy, and Fogmire Fen Beasts. Jimmerthy Burrito, and we have Rolling Red. And Rolling Red's Lizards, who are, what, 6, 7, 8, 9 players? So 2 more Skinks is another 120, so that puts him at 1750. So he's going to get 200 and some amount.
220, yeah.
I'm tired.
So could scum a little bit for Slibly. I don't know how much cash Rolling Red is sitting on.
80k.
80k. Oh, right, because he's going to buy the Saurus. Right. So this is actually.
It might be worth buying a Saurus for this. It is a claw team.
You are a claw team.
Quote claw team.
Oh, it has claw mighty blow. It has claw mighty blow piling on technically. So pretty scary for Lizards to be playing into. I mean, I think this goes to the Necro most of the time. It could go badly for him because the Lizards are so strong. So if he doesn't get the removals he needs, Rolling Red's team will be tough to deal with, certainly. But
yeah, if he doesn't buy a Saurus, he's only going to have 5, and one of them is a rookie. So like, kind of playing with 4 Saurus is not really in a position you want to be in. Like, I know this is a terrible comparison, but I'm just trying to like make it simple. You know, there's, if you look at like the strength 4 players, right? So like the rookie Saurus is a rookie. That leaves you with 4 Saurus. 2 of them are going to be like matched up against the 2 flesh golems. So it leaves you with like 2 players to get a strength advantage with, which is probably not enough when guard exists. Like, it's not the greatest comparison in the world, but like you can kind of see what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So I feel like I want to go with Jimmy as well for that one. No, the Cheese and Agrain are not finished playing yet, but we can move on to Div 2.
So you gave that to Fogmire Fembeast, or to
Thick, Rich, and Creamy as well, yeah. Of course, 2A has played 3 of the games already.
Yeah, I mean, that's typical.
But let's see what happened in the other ones. Rebel Cheese Thieves and Rebel Rage Quit. We predicted that the Skaven would be able to take that. We were wrong.
30 armor breaks to 3 tells that story.
8 casualties sustained and 7 KOs. So yeah, I mean,
that was just a fucking pitch clear.
When Robbie pitch clears you, he decides it's now time to pick up the ball because there's nothing else for him to do. He only took 9 blocks. Like, there are only 9 blocks made against the Chorf team.
It's worth noting, because I already know this, Arabi, the Chorf blocker, has picked up Claw.
Oh, of course it did. It was fate.
So yeah, just crushing that team to death. Bioware for Life versus Grungy Desserts had already played because of course they had. Fell with Codedal. We predicted the high.
Well, I mean, we should still look at the game, even though we didn't predict it.
Oh, right.
It was 1-1.
Was 1-1. Good MVP coming in and revive Captain Shepard, who is inching his way towards Legend.
Legend Vamp.
And on Angry Churro, who did level from that, I think.
Looks like it.
No. Had already leveled. It's 31.
Okay.
Not 35 or 36.
1 pass for the Nurgle with a successful catch may have been the tying touchdown actually, which is kind of interesting. Means that Bioware for Life probably getting cheated out of a win there.
Vampires having pretty good dice. Looks like they made a good amount of bloodlusts, a decent amount of dodges. Their armor was garbage. But Claw Mighty Blow exists. They made all the foul appearance rolls. They made a good amount of hypnotic gaze rolls. Yeah, it looks like a pretty good game for the Vampires. Just couldn't quite pull it a win, maybe because the Nurgle did something truly bullshit. The block dice for the Nurgle were incredibly good. Might have had something to do with this. Their armor was also really solid. They made all their regens, so there was no player advantage at all for the
they're exactly
Vampires. Looks both teams had pretty good dice.
There are exactly two situations in which a Nurgle team makes a pass. One of them is vanity pass at the end of the game, and the other one is, oh dear God, I need to make this pass if I want to tie it or win it. So it could have been one of those two things, and if it was the winning or the tying touchdown, then Nurgle.
Do you have a prediction for Brett's versus High Elves? I didn't write one down.
Yeah.
I probably let me see.
You did. You predicted the Bretonnians, and I predicted the High Elves.
Oh, good job.
Yep, that's what I have in the YouTube description anyway.
I believe you.
And that is canon, because it's just copy pasted from whatever you typed in Facebook chat.
It's true. Good game for the High Elves. They kind of both removed each other. Not a lot of removals on either side, actually, just kind of a small amount.
It was an elf game. The elf did each other. Even though the Bretonnians are Bretonnians, but they do have a bunch of agi, so... Although it's a surprisingly punchy elf game, 44 blocks and 58 blocks sustained, respectively, is quite a bit for a sort of agi team versus an agi team. He who fiddles unseen is dead, unfortunately, because he got an MVP to level. Not that you really care too much about a leveled peasant, but he who fiddles unseen is quite an interesting name for a player that goes whenever they move. So it's unfortunate that he's dead.
Game. It is indeed. Contract Killers. Oh, no, wait. I'm skipping one again. No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
We're good. Contract Killers was
Lackland Long Tongues.
We predicted the Chorfs would win. Or no, we predicted the Lizards would win. And
we did. It was a tie.
As happens in these sort of games. Both sides got 10 armor breaks. One side got 8 removals on those 10 armor breaks. It was the Chorfs. Spoilers. Some of those were only KOs, though, and the KO rolls for the Lizards were pretty good. So maybe not as bad as it looks. Both teams just able to score on their own drives, but not really do a 2-1 grind, something like that.
Probably what happens, yeah.
Looks pretty standard.
Probably a pretty solid game on both sides, and not being able to pull out anything because, a lot of punches, some breaks on both sides.
Lizards couldn't dodge to save their life. I mean, neither team could dodge to save their life.
You don't really expect it from Dorfs, though.
No, they've got Agi 3. Sometimes they even have break tackle. The Green Weenies versus Hornstars. We predicted the Chaos would win, and the Orcs actually pulled it out.
We suck this week. Really bad.
We do, yes. I'm being destroyed. Not a lot of removals on either side. So. Chaos not really getting the blocks they needed, only getting 31 blocks, and on those blocks only getting 4 removals. They sustained
a bunch themselves.
A bunch of KOs, and an extra Kaz and an extra KO from either fouls or failed dodges, failed GFIs, things like that. Not a lot of dice rolled for the Orcs. The Chaos made a lot of dodges. The Chaos made, failed armor quite a bit, more so than the other team. Yeah, just kind of maybe the Chaos didn't quite get what they needed to pull out a win. And, failed 7 out of 8 KO rolls. So that's that game.
1-0 very much is predictive of, the Orcs scoring on their drive, then the Chaos failing a bunch of their KO rolls, not having enough players to be able to convert it into their own touchdown. The Orcs just defending for 8 turns and making it 1-0.
Yep,
or the other way around, right?
And then we have a Nurgle mirror, and we predicted that Lewis would win.
We predicted that Nurgle would win.
But we predicted the right Nurgle would win.
No, the Nurgle on the left one.
Thank you. A MNG niggled Rotter took the MVP in levels. That's a yikes for me, dog. MVP on the Blodge Guard Nurgle Warrior is of course fantastic. Not a crazy removal game from either side. Certainly, Sir Kodiak not getting the armor breaks at all.
Blodge Nurgle Warrior is surprisingly difficult to level, so MVPs on there is amazing. Yeah.
Really helpful, yeah. Lewis getting more removals certainly, but not a ton more.
2 versus
Regen
7.
Failed for Lewis. Regen failed. Regen wasn't a skill for either player, but one of them rolled more of it. Foul appearance was actually bad for Lewis and good for Sir Kodiak, so maybe something going on there, but not enough to make a difference. The bigger Nurgle team just blocked more, a little bit more at least, and was able to get more removals and control.
If you're a bash team and you don't roll very many d6s, you're having a good game. And Lewis rolled far fewer d6s than the.
So it looks like his the Kaz he sustained was probably his Beast of Nurgle because it only made 3 really stupid. So kind of surprised if you remove the Beast of Nurgle, you would expect that to be a big swing, but maybe not big enough.
If one team rolling way less dice than the other in a bash matchup where both teams are mostly doing 3+ for stuff is you're gonna do better on average if you roll fewer dice, and he rolled fewer dice.
And then we have Welcome to the Dark Side and the Forsaken Awoken. We predicted the Dark Elves would win, and it was a tie, so no points there.
At least it's not a loss in points.
The Necro kicked the shit out of the Dark Elves, not as hard as they should have.
Casualties, holy shit.
Yeah, but they... okay, so a bunch of those are fouls, probably, because they only inflicted 4, but they sustained 8, including 2 deaths, so they died a lot on failed dodges or getting fouled.
And this is Queen Elizabeth's team, who, it was an incredible elf team, so I'm a little scared to see the damage on this team.
Well, let's go look at it, because that's unfortunate. But first up is Not for Science's team.
But they probably scored on their drive and then just got fouled to death while the Nurgle went forward. And we'll have to see. Yeah, Not for Science.
Trimmed down to 1990, the first time they've been below 2,000 in a long time. Still sitting with 2 Agi 3 pieces because of reasons. Looking pretty much the same as the last time we looked at it. I don't think any of this is new. Tackle on Unrepentant Soul is probably new. Dodge on the Wrestle Guard Leap Lineman might be new. Guard on the Tribunal is new, but he's AV busted, which kind of sucks.
That one turner, 225 SPP.
How many touchdowns is Tunari?
He's so much beyond. He's 30. He's
65 touchdowns.
He's 50 SPP beyond legend. What the fuck?
65 touchdowns. Good team.
Unbelievable.
Bioware for Life by Dire Sickfish. Looking pretty good. He's got block on Hawk, which I think is newish. Maybe not new.
You love the strength on Revive Commander Shep? No, that's not new. He just got MVP on him. Not new.
Nope. Not a lot is new here, I think.
I don't think so. The ball carrying Thrall is getting pretty close to leveling. He probably wants Sure Hands on him, I think, at this point.
Jaheira? Yeah, probably.
He carries the ball with him, so probably Sure Hands.
I'd say Sure Hands is a good pick there. And then maybe this is the time, I think, to start picking up Pro on some vampires, so hopefully you can drop a reroll.
Yeah, you could probably take Pro on Revive Commander Shepherd or Ball Spawn at Legend, but they're both a ways away from Legend. The Warden could definitely take it, and he's only 9 SPP away.
Take Stand Firm on him, I think. More important than because especially if you don't want to activate him and you just want to keep him sitting there being annoying as fuck as a strength 5 blodge guard piece, I think Stand Firm is disgusting.
Most often, the vampires don't really do the sort of put players in the way and kind of stand there thing. The guard piece is so often throwing a piece in there to use to block with somebody else on a blitz rather than put this guard and get into a punch matchup thing.
Yeah, I don't really know how to vampire, so
if you try to do the standard chaos Nurgle thing where you're here's my strength 4 blodge guy or blodge guard guy, then I'm going to shove in there and it's really annoying for you to deal with, you'll probably lose because you're going to have 2 players that are good at fighting that, and then the rest of them are thralls, and then they're just going to die, and you can't do free blocks without thralls being nearby anyway. So
yeah, maybe you just take Pro there. I'm really not sure.
It's debatable, I think, but I wouldn't be I don't think it's bad if you take Pro on that player, and I don't think it's bad if you took Pro on the Hero of Waterdeep either. But Hawk can't take it; he needs dodge. Ball Spawn and Revive Commander Shepherd are probably too far away from even considering it. So if you got any Pro soon, it would be on either Hero of Waterdeep or Warden.
Yep. And then we have Rebel Rage Quit, which has been got Nurgled really hard. We'll see that game next week, but Lewis got 9 armor breaks, and 4 of those were Kaz, including a kill on his best blocker. So
Robbie has Claw Mighty Blow piling on, though.
He does.
In what is totally unexpected.
I know, right? But he did lose, I believe it was the Strength Up Claw Mighty Blow piling on piece, so he's down to only 1 Claw Mighty Blow. A Robbie rising from the ashes of the last killer to become, the new one. How
Man,
many
no,
kills?
I'm calling Orabi is going to become a legend, and he's going to get like plus strength and horns. Like,
I don't know. He hasn't killed anyone, so Robbie should probably fire him.
no, I mean this is Orabi playing a Chaos Dwarf blocker named Orabi, who has picked up Claw, Mighty Blow, Piling On as his first 3 skills. This Chorf is going places. I'm calling it now.
All right. He does have both Bull Centaurs again. Silly Tor down here has picked up Block recently, which is nice.
His next skill is
as
going to
you
be
said-
Mighty Blow and then Piling On. Calling it.
I don't know why you would say that. Not a lot else is new. There's probably an extra dirty player. He has 3 dirty players. Yeah. I mean, this team has a theme and it sticks to it. Stouticus
man.
at
He has
2290,
fun with it,
the
and I love
biggest
it.
team in REL, I think, is Stouticus's gross Nurgle team, despite the fact that one of their Nurgle warriors is basically fresh.
I think
Fell
they are
on
now
Black
with
Vignettes.
what's happened to Fel with Guadadal. They've dropped down a bit, so I think
Yep.
Stouticus has taken that title pretty firmly.
Beast of Nurgle is 2 SP away from leveling, hoping for a double there. If not, probably
Break
grab.
tackle,
Maybe.
break tackle.
I
or
don't
grab.
love break tackle on movement 4 pieces. You're like, you can't move very far, and it's a 2+2+ to move him.
I love break tackle on Beasts of Nurgle that are often it's very important that you get them in a particular spot. Like people will put a tackle zone in the way of you slamming your Beast of Nurgle into like 4 elves, and you're like, ah shit. But if you can suddenly break tackle your way in and mark up 4 elves with them, you can
Yeah,
just
you can
win
mark up
games.
4 elves 70% of the time.
Yeah, and that's better than not marking up any elves and having a useless Beast of Nurgle. And
Yeah,
people
right.
will throw a zombie on him, and you don't want to block with him because he doesn't have block. So, and you'd rather try to break tackle him out and put him somewhere more useful. And grab is also fine but I think grab is better if you already had block. If you already had
Fair
block,
enough,
I would
'cause
like
you're already blocking more often, yeah.
yeah, but without the block to do the block, like the grab is useful to keep players on you, and that's kind of all it's useful for because you're never really going to one turn with Nurgle. So the grab doesn't help in that way. It's to keep players on you while hitting stuff. So yeah, I think it's better if you have block, but he doesn't have it. So I'd take break tackle there, I think, but that's just me.
Fair enough. Fel on Black Vignettes has picked up block, which is nice, of course. It'll help him be at least reliable enough to make blocks with, so you're not totally terrified of him.
Yeah, and then he'll take Mighty Blow next just to try to accelerate his leveling, and then regardless of whether he goes...
Probably, or maybe just guard and like accept that he's just going to be really slow.
Yeah, maybe. It depends on if you feel like
really
you need
needs
guard
the
or
guard.
not.
He only has 3. Even Flan has picked up Claw for an extra Claw Mighty Blow piece. I like that. That brings him up to 3, which I think is like a good number to have.
Yep.
Cannoli As You Are is inching towards Legend. Angry Churro has picked up Tentacles, which is nice for the block.
And strength, so
up
good.
piece, but
Guard Stand
makes that a
Firm.
bit awkward.
Probably take
Guard
Stand Firm.
or Stand Firm Guard. I don't
I'd go
actually know
Stand
which
Firm
one it is.
because he's movement 3.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to take Stand Firm as well. Sponge Cake Man is a finished sacker with nothing exciting, so he took Kick.
Pray for
And we talked about that
stats.
to death.
Yep.
And then he's coming up on Legend on Yellow Lead Brownie, who will probably get
Extra arms, maybe, but you don't really
he's
need
already
it.
got Agi 4 and Sure Hands. Like, you don't take extra arms
For
there,
when
I
it's
don't think.
raining. No. Pray for doubles and like leap, maybe, but that doesn't even help. And any stat really, I guess. Strength.
And wouldn't be terrible.
Strength is good. Movement is good.
Thanks for that statement, Ben.
Well, I'm just thinking any stat.
Strength on your ball carrier is good.
any like no, the perfect like Pestigor ball carrier is Blood, Sure Hands, like plus agi, plus strength, plus movement. Like you just want stats.
That's true.
So any stat is good there. I mean, agi 5 would be good, strength 4 would be good, movement 7
Agi
would
5,
be good.
honestly, I would probably skip. He's already Agi 5 on the dodge. You don't need to be Agi 6 on the dodge. You already dodged through tackle zones on a 2.
You
On
can
one
dodge through 2
zone.
tackle zones on it too.
Yeah, but how often are you doing that as Nurgle?
More often than you'd like.
So look at it this way. Your opponent double screens, right? You can just blitz through and only have to deal with one tackle zone. Like,
What if you failed the blitz, or what if you did pushes on the blitz?
the pushes are fine. If it's a double screen, you push and you follow, and then you dodge through a single tackle zone the rest of the way, right? You'd have to 1 in 9 to not have to go through 2 tackle zones, and at that point, you're into enough of an edge case that like you accept that sometimes you lose fucking games. It's a dice game.
But there aren't any other good skills. Like
I mean, Fend isn't bad. I don't hate Fend or even Kickoff Return. I actually think Kickoff Return is the
Yeah, Kickoff Return would be pretty good, I think.
All Apple Pies exists and is inching towards legend. He's no longer as exciting now that he has block.
He was a meme with Block Claw, or with Mighty Blow Claw. He has gotten 3 levels since then.
He actually got block later than Drumpf did. Weirdly enough, Drumpf went Mighty Blow Claw Tackle because I had to fight Skaven. But
it's not uncommon.
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, it was just
weird. A thing in playoffs that one time because he kept all Apple Piesing it.
Exactly.
Donut in the Hole, still very good, but nothing new. Couple of dirty player and some injured rotters, massive bench, which you might as well have because you're not making any money. So you're going to lose players eventually. So having the rotters already exist is great because then, Hit Him Not Me is here. He was a Goblin.
Yep, he was the ball carrying Goblin. He's dead now.
Cleric, Bretonnians.
Yep, looking pretty okay despite taking some punches. I think Houndmaster Hobbard is pretty new. 2 SPP away from Legend on Hand of Davcool. I don't know what you take. Something, presumably.
He's the ball carrier. Blodge, Sidestep, Agi.
You already got Blodge, Step, Agi, Fend, Sure Hands.
Kickoff Return?
I mean, maybe, but he's already movement 7. He's not that slow.
What else do you take? I mean, you could just... No, you already have a leader. Never mind.
I honestly don't know.
I have no idea. I mean, Kickoff Return is the only thing I can think of that's mildly useful.
Another leader. Really trimmed down. No, I don't think that's the correct choice.
I don't know what you take.
We'll see what he picks.
Pray for strength.
Well-armored Pimp has picked up Stand Firm, which is nice because he's got 2 Stand Firm guard pieces now.
If that Blitzer got strength, he'd be so fucking ridiculous. But that's, a 1 in 36, so good luck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a good-looking team. It's really lacking in the ability to stand there and fight. Like, it can do kind of surgical hits with these 2 guards, but it can't really fight like a human team that has like a guard spam lineup. So it just kind of has to do.
Well, they're Bretonnians. They can fight early when everybody is at 1,000 TV because you have 4 block and 4 wrestle, or 1,100 TV or whatever.
They're much more reliable.
But they're going to become less that once other teams start getting block and more guard because you only get 4 guard and it's all in the wrestle. And the Bretonnians are weird. They start off as they're better at punching than you, but then they transition into the speed game as they level up. And Cleric has certainly done that really well, I think. So
yeah, no, it's a really good looking team. Not a lot new on it this time, but it's coming up on some cool levels for sure. And then we have Urs, his team, whose name I can't say.
Lackland Longtongues.
Yep, 2 Rookie Saurus. Has had a rough couple of games for sure. Is really praying for a double on Colotl, but is not finding one and is running out of useful normals to take, which is the Skink Life. But you can't throw it at you for. So
there's only one more level. So I mean,
catch could be an ultimate disappointment.
Hope you get movement, and then he can be movement 9, sprint sure feet.
Could be. Probably won't, but could be.
The 2 Rookie Saurus are so annoying, but they're both very close to leveling. 1 Kaz on Marmaduke, 1 touchdown on Issa, which, touchdown on a Saurus. But, if you can get it, you can get it. And then suddenly you have your full complement of Block Saurus again, and that's when lizards are most dangerous.
Yep. Chakwa is close, or just picked up Tackle, which is nice. He's got a couple of good pieces. I mean, he's got 4 guard. He's got a nice Mighty Blow Sacker and a Blodge break tackle piece. And he's got a Blodge Step diving tackle skink, which I know is super useful. And he's got the super agi,
good ball carrying skink, good defensive skink. Bunch of source.
Again, it would be a disgusting mid-ranged team, but we're not in a mid-range div. So
yeah, if Issa and Marmaduke had block and you were at 1660, and then you were in a div with a bunch of other 1600 TV teams, you would be the king of that division. But you are not. You're in Div 2A where there are 2,200 TV Nurgle teams. What do you take on Hua of the River in 2 SPP? Mighty Blow?
Hua of the River.
He's 2 SPP and he's block guard, break tackle right now.
Yeah, probably Mighty Blow or Stand Firm. Either are totally credible picks. More Mighty Blow might be nice. You do kind of need the removal game at some point.
Yeah, you only have 1 right now. Hornstars, my Nemo.
Did not get too beat up by the Orcs. It looks like they did lose a Chaos Warrior to MNG, who has picked up tackle. He leveled as well in that game, it looks like, or the game before maybe.
And speaking of levels, Lance Thruster, also Blodge now.
Yeah, that's true. He is niggled, unfortunately, but still looking okay. A lot of Claw Mighty Blow, a lot of Claw Mighty Blow piling on for that matter. Five Claw Mighty Blow. Yeah. 2 of them are piling on. That this is a Chaos team with a theme, and it is kill you.
Well, Claw Mighty Blow is pretty common on the Chaos Warriors, and then at least 1 Beastman, and then on Chaos you can afford to do it twice because you have a lot more Beastmen than a Nurgle team does. So no, it's not. It's high on the Claw Mighty Blow, but it's not unreasonable. I wouldn't say it's like,
Yeah, and like it's lacking for guard. Actually, it's got 5 guard most of the time. It's just missing one of them now.
2 heads recently on the ball carrier as well. So he's got Agi, 4 sure hands, 2 heads.
Ton of wrestle. This is a very huggy Chaos team. It takes you to the ground so it can kick on you later. I don't like wrestle guard. I think that should be block guard. You want your guard to be standing, not on the ground. So don't love that pick, but
without it, you'd only have 3, and all of it would be on Chaos Warrior, so you wouldn't have any mobile guard. But
no, I like a guard Beastman. I just don't like a wrestle guard Beastman. There should be a block guard Beastman.
He may have not had another
he just
option.
had a wrestle Beastman, and then something else died, like a block guard one died, and he just needed the extra guard for that game. Like I could see how it came about, but it is a little awkward right now. He also his line of scrimmage is a little weird. He probably puts the wrestle Fend on the line. He probably puts Seymour Butts on the line, and then I guess he puts Johnny Rambone. Because he doesn't have any other option. So
no, but yeah, wrestle Beastman for the line is probably what the attempt was there, and then another one, and then one went wrestle. Then he picked up movement and tackle, so now he's the sacker instead, and so he's got 4 wrestle, 3 for the line, 1 for sacking, I guess. Yep. But it's a lot of TV dedicated to line stuff at this point, so
yeah, it's chaos though.
That's true.
Then we have Abysmal Cusp by Sir Kodiak. Did lose a Nurgle warrior, possibly in his last game.
Down to 3.
Unfortunate. He was playing the bigger Nurgle team, so that's not terribly surprising that he would take some attrition, but that is unfortunate. His beast is still filthy. Block and movement up are both very nice.
Well, it's Metal's ex-beast, so
the ex-wife is a very good girl.
I don't think anybody ever would say
he's only got 3 guard. One of his Nurgle warriors is AV busted. He's only got 2 Claw Mighty Blow, none of it piling on, so not a lot of kill for this division.
Oh.
He's going to be able to replace the Nurgle warrior, which is nice.
He has the bones of everything you need. Like, he's got the bones of good Nurgle warriors minus the one that's dead. He's got his killer Nurgle warrior. He's got a good ball carrying Pestigore. He's got the starts of a sacking Pestigore. Like, he has all of the building blocks of a really good Nurgle team, but he really needs like 2 or 3 levels to flesh it out. Right? He wants tackle on the on the wrestle Pestigore. He wants that rookie Pestigore to be like block guard or something. You would love a 4th Nurgle warrior with block. It's a couple more skills, and it's like a really annoying team, and it's almost there. So maybe at the end of the season, if nothing terrible happens to him, he'll have a really scary Nurgle team. But he needs a few more skills, I think, to make it really terrifying.
And then we have Moneybags, the Forsaken Awoken, Fresh Werewolf, that has played 1 game, so died. Not this round, but the last. He's still got the Agi Leap one. I think the other one was... I think it was all normals. I don't remember. I think this team had no Claw Mighty Blow. So at that point, recycling a wolf isn't the worst thing in the world. Flesh Golem's got block, which is nice. Guard is new on Morden, which is obviously good to have. He's only got 4 guard, I guess, because of the zombies, so that's not so bad. I like the pickup of Kick there. If you're going to have a zombie this developed, it makes sense to give him Kick. He's never going to be on the line.
Nope.
You can't really fit Kick in a lot of other places. It's totally a fine thing to do.
Yep, I agree.
The Superstar Ghoul has leveled. Probably takes Sure Hands on a normal.
Yep, Sure Hands on a normal.
Maybe Sidestep, but...
No, I would take Sure Hands. It just
other than that,
defends against strip really ball, and it saves you a reroll sometimes, so you have more rerolls for dodges or double skulls or whatever.
A random zombie has picked up block, but that's it. So not a lot new, and that team's still looking pretty good. Got a couple of players in development.
Here's what I wanted to see. Queen Elizabeth, welcome to the dark side. I haven't clicked yet. No. They're 14-20. They took 8 Kaz's last game. Here we go, friends. Could be worse, but it is certainly much less of a team.
Well, they're missing the double movement up blitzer.
Yep, he is gone
because he's dead.
Yep. And we have an MNG.
Both of those are only MNGs at least. So did not lose the guard piece or the movement up blodge stepper, but did lose the movement 9 blitzer, which was pretty exciting. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
going to be a tough game next game, but
we still have an obscene amount of guard for a dark elf team. We still have more movement than most dark elf teams, but so it's still good. It's just less good. Yeah. What's going to happen now is Lord Voldemort is going to roll movement, and we'll have another one. In 2 SPP. Yeah, lost the movement 9 piece. It's a big deal. But there's still a stupid amount of guard and some good players like the Witch Elf. Both Witch Elves are really... Or Witch Elf is really good. There's a Mighty Blow Blitzer is really good. Still 2 movement, Blodge Step Blitzers, which are very good. But the movement 9 is certainly annoying. Only having 1 Witch Elf now is a little annoying. But yeah, so it's worse than it was, sadly, because it lost a couple good pieces, but it's still a really good dark elf team.
It's still got 3 guard. It's got a incredible leaping sacker. It's a good team. It's still got legs. I believe in it.
Well, it's got 270 MN in TV, just MNG right now. So like it's still a 1800 dark elf team, which is always scary. It's just the next game might be a little rough. Luis Quano.
Yep. Not a ton of new stuff. Stand Firm is new on malaria.
It's an annoying piece now. Less than 50% to like move it from its position, because you got to roll that 1 in 6 for foul appearance, and then lodge Stand Firm with a 2 die.
Not a lot other than that. I mean, it's a good looking team. It's got a good amount of guard. It's got a good amount of kill. It rolls really good Kaz dice.
Like the
it's lacking a bit of guard. It's only got 3, so it is gonna struggle. Like when it fights those orcs, I don't think it's fought the orcs yet. It's gonna have trouble if it doesn't immediately remove the orc team, because the orc team is just gonna base you, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, once again, it needs 1 or 2 more levels, but it's got a lot of really good stuff, right? 4 really good Nurgle warriors, a really good killer Pestigore, potential replacement killer Pestigore, maybe like a frenzy Pestigore or something, but it needs a level. Ball carrier has got the minimum that it needs. It's still gonna look for Agi or 2 heads or extra.
Damn it, Ben, we're only talking about new things. You're getting too caught up.
Maybe, but it's just, I'm just saying, there's a couple extra skills that it really wants to get anywhere. Even though it does look really good, it still has like 3 more skills that it wants pretty easily.
As soon as you're tired, you start like autopilot talking.
Yeah,
I have to like keep you on track.
Pulls.
Greeny weenie.
Rookie Black Orc. How many games? 1. So new.
Yeah, he lost it 2 games ago. A game ago.
He hasn't gotten any SPP, but he's gonna try. I imagine we're gonna try really hard to get him blocked, because just a blockless Black Orc is so annoying to level up when it falls behind its friends, which it already is, considering they're already block guard.
Yep, this team looks very much like Professor Chaos's. It's got the complement of very supporty Black Orcs, not quite as developed as Professor Chaos's, obviously.
And then the one
has a stat freak blitzer. They're kind of split into 2 blitzers, where I think Morknast is stacking the stats.
Being more efficient with those stat levels.
Yeah, and this is kind of nice, though. He's got the Blodge Stand Firm guard strength 4 piece. He's got an Agi 4 piece with tackle guard, so it's really mobile. It's also a credible sacker. Cutie Chris has a nice movement up, so he's like a very difficult to deal with killer.
Yeah, very threatening killer. Also a good sacker
for
on
doubles
defense.
On legends, so you can get to jump up. That would be nice.
Yeah, and then we have another like sort of fake Black Orc that we've seen before in Angry Angus. Nothing new there.
Yes, Angry Angus. Yeah.
Three.
Not a lot new here at all. I think the Dirty Player I think is new, but
yeah, we still got 3 linemen that go on the line. The Black Orc is new, but he doesn't have any. That's a sad thing, not a new exciting thing.
Tackle for Bouncy Ben is new, but yeah, not a lot new other than that. Really good looking Orc team. I think the thrower is fairly new, only has dodge, which is a nice first level because the thrower sucks.
It means you get to keep him for a while, because he's going to pick up block, and he's now just a good ball carrier because he's Blodge Sure Hands, even though he's only movement 5.
Yeah, pretty good looking Orc team. And then the
Bernie.
Contract Killers by Bernie Buffin.
Strength Pylon Claw Mighty Blow blocker is
It's a lot of niggles though. That's 2 niggles.
How many niggles is that?
Just two, but unless some of these other ones are niggles.
AV bust. That is a movement bust.
It's a lot of lost reliability here. I mean, this
bust.
rookie is niggled, which you kind of want to replace, but he can't afford it.
No.
Waluigi version 2 is nearing legend-ish with his weird, well, not weird, it's a cool surfing bull centaur, certainly.
I like how Wasn't Me Ref is not the fouling hobgoblin. He's the blodge guard.
You can't help who rolls guard, I guess. Movement up on Punchy Bag Bob, getting a new ball carrying hobgoblin there, which is nice.
Punch Bag Bob, the hobgoblin, the ball carrying hobgoblin.
So Burzo has picked up guard, which is new, and this is the biggest problem with this team is it only has 3 guard, and Chorfs don't have a lot of strength, so 3 guard is not enough. So probably going to be having a really tough time in these bash matchups where the sheriff just doesn't pop off, and you can't really expect one Claw Mighty Blow piling on piece to reliably
when
pop
the
off.
Chorfs get isolated, they're going to be in rough shape, and it's going to be pretty easy to isolate them without the guard to keep them like on their feet. Like it's just going to be like, cool, you play with the Chorf, you play with the Chorf, you play with the Chorf, and then the Chorfs need to keep their Chorfs together to be really strong, and they can't really do that without guard. And
then we have
we need some of that. Sorry. I was just going to say we need more guard, but you already said that.
And then we have Jericho Peppers, the Archangel of Div 2A at 1280 TV rat team.
He just got a Robbie.
His plus strength rat lineman. Why does this exist? Is MNG'd as it deserves to be.
Because it's fun.
As it deserves to be fired, realistically.
It's fun.
It is fun. I like fun.
No, you don't. You hate fun.
I hate fun. Fun is the worst.
I like fun. You hate fun.
Does not have claw. Does have 2 Mighty Blow vermin, including one with a black name, so I can never read it. Feta.
Yeah.
Is apparently what it's called. It's the last time I'll say it.
Veneer. One turner with leap. So good.
Abundance. Because I don't know what's going on there. Has picked up Dauntless, so it is a wrestle leap strip ball piece, which is nice. It doesn't have tackle, so not great against anything with dodge sure hands, but a credible sacking threat certainly. And Dauntless is nice because it gives them the 1 die. You don't really need it if it's wrestle strip for red die, but only if they have sure hands. If they don't have sure hands, I should say. So.
Looks like Feta got Mighty Blow recently. I'm surprised it's not guard because there isn't any guard, and guard is nice to do like Saki stuff with.
When you don't have a claw piece, you kind of have to go Mighty Blow because if he gets a double, it's really awkward.
That's what I was going to say next, is like you'd like that to be guard, but since you don't have Claw Mighty Blow, you need to have the option for both of your Storm Vermin to get it, because you don't know which one's going to roll doubles. But yeah, that's what I was going to say that, but I think
it is a very minimalist rat team right now.
It turns out it's got a 1-turner and a sacker, so it doesn't really matter what else the rest of the team is.
It's a claw killer. Like you're really hoping Parmigiano Reggiano rolls claw, of course, next. And
then it doesn't matter what the rest of the rats are, because you've got a 1-turner and you've got a strip ball gutter runner and you've got a claw palm storm vermin.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter what the rest of your 8 rats are.
You want to predict the 4 matches left in Div 2A?
I mean, I guess. Rebel Cheese Thieves versus the Horn Stars.
Horn Stars have sure hands. They have a good amount of tackle. I think this probably goes to the chaos. I mean, the inducements are going to be real. What is Jericho at?
I mean, rat inducements are really good, but Horn Stars, with the decent amount of tackle they have, they've got the Tentacles Nurgle Warrior. So
it's 1330 versus...
Oh, he's actually.
20-30. The rats get 600k. So they're going to have some shit, but I think it's still probably chaos.
3 tackle, or two tackle Mighty Blow, 1 wrestle tackle plus movement, another tackle with just to be in an annoying way, a bunch of Mighty Blow. Yeah, I gotta give it to chaos, really. Like the rats are probably just gonna get removed. Lizards and Abysmal Cusp. Which one is Abysmal Cusp again?
That's Nurgle. Xercodiax Nurgle.
Right. Well, traditionally, at sort of higher TVs, I wouldn't say it's high TV, but at higher TVs, the Lizards are at a disadvantage here because Lizards really hate Claw Mighty Blow on Strength 4 players. But there's only two Claw Mighty Blow on the Sir Kodiak's team right now, and they are missing a Nurgle Warrior, which is a bit of a problem.
But also, Urs isn't going to get the inducements he normally gets here, so
that's true.
And then he's going to get 1680 versus 1860, so he gets 1680 versus he gets 140k because he's like a wizard basically, 130k. So we can get a wizard if he spends a bit of cash, but they can actually Abysmal Cusp can actually drop a bit of TV as well.
So not Slibbly into Rookiesaurus puts this in the Nurgle's favor for me, even though the Nurgle only have two Claw Mighty Blow. There's only two, but there's enough strength and block guard on the Nurgle team. If they get like one Saurus removal, the lizards are just screwed, and that's pretty likely to occur, honestly.
Brett versus Necro.
Battle Brothers versus the Forsaken Awoken. That is Moneybags' team, right? Yeah.
Yep. So that's the non-Claw Mighty Blow Necro team at 1940 versus the Bretts at 1940 as well, actually. So even matchup on the TV. Bretts have a huge bench, have a bunch of dirty player, have the elf game for sure, but the Necro do have a lot more kill, a good amount of guard, a good amount of stat ups. I don't know. How are you thinking on this? Or how are you feeling on this?
I don't know. My like super initial like gut reaction.
We have to take
Necro.
a split one, so I'm just going to pick what you don't because I also don't agree. Or I don't know, rather.
My super initial gut reaction is Necro, and that's just because the wolves can keep up with the agi of the blitzers really well. The blitzers won't get to do very many blitzer things, and like in the battle of idiot linemen, zombies are probably better.
Yes.
Than peasants in terms of like removals and stuff. So I mean, man, it could so easily. I don't know, man. I'm gonna flip a coin. I'm literally gonna flip a coin.
All right, do it.
Heads. I'm going to use Necro. I get heads, so I pick Necro.
Sweet. That's what I wrote down. So that's what you get. Grungy Desserts versus Welcome to the Dark Side. So battered Dark Elves versus enormous Nurgle.
Enormous Nurgle.
Yeah, I mean the Dark Elves are going to get a crazy amount of inducements, but I don't know if it's going to matter.
Like I play Nurgle, the elf team that I'm happiest to see when I'm told I'm matched up against elves is Dark Elves, because the
lower, yeah.
The things that Nurgle hate are speed on elves, and most of this the movement 9 guy is gone, and one of the movement 8 guys is MNG'd. So there's only one movement 8 and 3 movement 7, so they're not as fast as they normally are. The Nurgle hate the speed, and the speed is mostly gone for this one game. So I feel like I want to give it to the massive Nurgle, especially since we've got the 2 Strength 5 Tentacles players that are going to be able to lock down. If they can lock down 2 elves each, 4 elves out of the game, like, ugh. I feel like this has got to be Nurgle. But, you know, it's certainly possible, but I feel like on average this is pretty Nurgle favored, just because of the tentacles and stuff. Yeah, so there we go. Let me I think that's everything. Oh, did we look at the leaderboard? I don't think we did.
No.
We should have. Well, keep in mind half these games have been played, so this is a really hard leaderboard to look at. But currently we'll read it as is because I'm too lazy to figure out half of the games having been played. We've got 3 players tied for first currently, with Not for Science, Staticus, and Luis with 3-1 with 3 wins and a draw. However, Staticus hasn't played yet, we know that for sure, so a win or a draw is good enough to put him in first. Holes is close with 3 wins. Moneybags has got 2 wins and 2 draws, so a win here is also, he hasn't played yet, and a win here for him would throw him to the top of the table. So a lot of movement still really available with these like very few lost teams up at the top. Cleric 202, Bernie, Dire Sickfish, Queen Elizabeth at 1 and 2, various combinations. So still only a win really off playoff contention. Only winless teams right now are My Nemo and the Rebel Cheese Thieves, who are not currently doing great, but they've been beaten up pretty severely in a lot of their games. So yeah, that's what things look like. I will bring us up to the title screen here. And I think that's all we really have to say about this. That's going to be week 4, but thanks everybody for watching. We will be back next Thursday, I assume. Next Thursday isn't the week you're gone, right? That's the... No, that's
Oh,
like
I'm
2
not
weeks from
gone
now.
for a while. I'm going to Hawaii on the 28th, so I'm gone the recap of the 2nd. So
Third?
we're going to be the 3rd, yes, sorry.
So that's week 7. So whatever week 7, that's because this next... Yeah, so week 7 will just be me and a guest.
We're
If you
gonna
feel
meet
like
a
being a
you and
guest on week 7, feel free to let me know. And I will bring you
can
in.
come hang out with Steakmittens. It'll be great. He probably won't get the camera because he'll be too lazy to set it up, but maybe he will. Who
No,
knows?
I can do it. It just I can set it up really easily. It just depends on if the person I'm doing it with has a webcam they're willing to show or not. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back next Thursday with more div review things. And until then, I've been Steakmittens.
And I'm Shadorra.
And we will see you guys next week for week 5.